Today we are checking out Bragg Creek. This is a peaceful, scenic area just on the outskirts of Banff. It has the same look and feel. However, there are way less people here. It is not as overwhelming or, busy, full of commercial buildings and such as it is a little bit further down the road from here. And we're meeting the RV repairman over here, so let's see how that goes. The RV repairman did end up coming out. He did an inspection on my electrical compartment, and he determined that my inverter was just getting too hot because there's no ventilation in my electrical compartment. Literally, there's no holes, no fans, nothing. And technically, for Class B RV standards, there is supposed to be a ventilation system on all electrical compartments. So what he did do is drill a hole into the electrical compartment so that some airflow can kind of happen, and it'll kind of help cool down the electrical compartment. And right now it's literally just a hole, but it's kind of discreetly located, so you can't really see it very well. However, I am gonna buy an actual vent cover on Amazon.com and just kind of push that in there so it just looks a little bit cleaner and more professional. I'm so thankful that he came out because a lot of people don't want to work on these sorts of converted Sprinter vans. I got 3 no's before I could get a yes. Today we are checking out Johnston Canyon, a beautiful, very narrow canyon right in the Rocky Mountains. And it's crazy because the rocks that make up Johnston Canyon were actually formed millions of years before the Rocky Mountains ever existed. And everything just, got raised up all together. I also want to update you on my windshield repair. So when I inspected it in the daylight, it appeared that the windshield repair kit had done its job and the crack does not appear to be spreading. And it appears to have been filled. It definitely looks a lot better than it did after the rock first hit the windshield. I am relieved about this because purchasing a new windshield was going to be, $1,000, maybe even more than that. And that's just a huge expense at this point. Now we're going to visit the Indigenous History Museum that is located in the town of Banff. It's this Buffalo Nations Museum, and a lot of it is focused on the s01e Nakota, and I'm actually a relative of the s01e Nakota people. I am not sure exactly how closely I'm related to them. I do know that I have Nakota ancestry. However, there are many different bands of Nakota people, and I could be, from one of the more eastern bands, which would not be as closely related to the s01e Nakota people. I really want to figure it out exactly, which band I'm descended from. So if any of you have any tips on that, please let me know down in the comments below. I have been told that I need to try to figure out which chief she was following or who her father was. That would give me a lot more information in order for me to determine exactly what the relationship is. The effigies on these pipes are so intricate. I love looking at the pipe stems and also the pipe bags and the pipe bowls as well. I always find them to be so unique and so intricate and designed with such love and care. And I also love looking at the clothing and seeing all the beadwork designs and also the horse tackle, how detailed that is and how large it is to be able to cover the horse. And I really appreciate this part as it kind of speaks to Native fashion, not only having a past and also having a present and a future, which is really important and I think lacking in a lot of Native museums, unfortunately. The designs on the outside of the teepees were very personal to each family, and a lot of times the animals were the clans, or the designs on the outside of the teepee somehow, represented the family or had something to do with their story. All right, it's the next day after sleeping in the sneaky campsite. I slept really well. It's really not that bad here. There's a couple of other van life people, and there also looks like a couple of full timers that maybe live at the trailhead campsite the entire time. I didn't want to film last night because people are outside cooking and such, and I don't really want to be, filming people at their campsite. However, everyone I think has left, or they're inside their vehicle, so I'm gonna like show a little bit of the parking lot situation just so you can kind of get a feel for the vibes. This is what the trailhead camping looks like. This mountain looms over the town of Banff. It looks like the plates are literally meeting right there and just pushing right up against each other, creating that deep V shape at the top that you can see. The town of Banff is so cute. It kind of feels like a little mountain ski resort town. I mean, which it is. And it's full of shopping and eating and, tourist activities such as horseback riding and delicious food such as these bison short ribs. So today we're doing the High Long Trail, and this trail goes really far up the mountain, and then I'm at a really great viewpoint of Banff, of Canmore, of the Three Sisters. We're gonna see it all, girl. And I am bringing bear spray. Hopefully I don't have to use it. I did watch a couple TikToks on how to use it though, so I'm prepared. We are hiking basically straight up this mountain, and you know what it's for. It's for the views, which are immaculate on this area. I can see peaks for days. I can see lakes. I can see rivers. Guys, I'm so sorry. My dyslexia is so bad. Like, when I learn new proper nouns, it's really hard for me to keep them straight, especially if they are kind of similar or they start with the same letter. Sometimes I kind of goof them up, or I kind of put them together in my head. The bugs are bad, but I don't even need bug spray because my clothing has built-in insect repellent. It works better than any bug spray I've ever tried or been able to keep up with. If you're interested, I'm going to leave a link for them in the description box below. You can get them on Amazon. Now we're just going to relax and lay on the beach after that 3-hour hike. This beach is actually one of the best in the Banff area as it's actually swimmable. Most of the bodies of water in the Banff area are fed by glaciers, where this one is actually a former quarry. So this one is not fed by glaciers, so it's warm enough to swim in without, catching hypothermia or something. And of course, I had to, strike a couple of bodybuilding poses. So I found this spring nearby that locals know about apparently, and I'm gonna go ahead and fill up my water bottle with some delicious spring water. I've always loved the taste of mountain spring water. It's so crisp, delicious, and best of all, cold. And in this summer heat, believe me, I absolutely need it. This place is breathtakingly gorgeous, and until I arrived here, I didn't realize that I was related to the native peoples of this area. And learning more about the history, it's really sad that my ancestors were forced to vacate this area to make way for the national park when they had been living there and had been caretaking for this area. It felt really good to go back and to see what they saw and to form relationships with the mountains and the rivers that exist here, and to get to learn about that history and why my relatives don't live there anymore.